You're listening to TV Tangents. Today we're discussing the 1985 film, Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Welcome back to our podcast, everyone. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi, Natalie.
I love this movie so much that we're going to talk about because it's from my childhood, but I'm pretty sure I had not seen it in probably only 40 years ish. We're talking about Girls Just Want to Have Fun. We were talking about things we wanted to talk about, and I was like, oh my God, that movie is great. And I can't remember. I feel like you said at the time you didn't know if you had seen it before.
I'd never seen it before.
You'd never seen it before. That's insane.
I know, because let's remember that my parents didn't allow me to watch movies that they thought would influence me as a teenager. And I can tell you, after watching this movie, I 100% would have been influenced by this movie. Although, I heard about it in 5th and 6th grade, because that's the time period. Mm-hmm. And people I knew had seen it. And I was expecting more wild shenanigans.
Yeah, there's not quite as many wild. And, I actually thought it was going to be more than it was when I rewatched it to watch all the shenanigans. We, of course, watched it at our neighbor's house. So that probably is what makes that tracks. I'm like, that wouldn't have been a movie at home. Hey, Mom, we want to watch Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Mm-hmm. We watched it at our neighbor's house. But we would watch it many times, I feel like, over a few years period there. So, which was great because this was probably, obviously it was the first thing I ever saw Helen Hunt in.
Sure.
And she, of course, goes on to movie stardom and Mad About You, which we talked about, which was one of our favorite shows. And such a crazy thing for Sarah Jessica Parker to be in before she went on to become famous for Sex and the City, and other roles, of course, too. But I just remember them specifically. I will say I completely spaced and blanked that Shannen Doherty is in this movie.
I had no idea.
And I think we're obsessed with her now because we were watching all these shows recently, from Little House on the Prairie to 90210 to Girls Just Want to Have Fun, that have Shannen Doherty. So
she's literally in everything
that
we've been watching recently.
Yes. When she popped up, I was like, oh my God, okay, funny. So, great movie.
And she's so little. She is. So they would have filmed it in 1984. So she was 13 years old. And she's playing a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
And Sarah Jessica Parker is 19. Mm-hmm. And she's playing pretty age appropriate.
Yeah.
This movie cost $5 million to make.
Oh, wow.
And it grossed $6.3 million worldwide. In the U.S., it made $1.3 million, which is not a lot.
Yeah.
But you watched it. You said you watched it over and over again, which tracks because it was very popular on TV. Mm-hmm. It would play on TV apparently all the time.
Yeah.
Clearly not the channels I was watching. And I knew nothing about this movie except, like I said, the kids in school talked about it, and the only thing I knew about it was the hairspray scene where Helen Hunt, they're being attacked by the dog or whatever. And so she sprays hairspray at a lighter. And I remember the kids were doing this. And I don't know if it's an urban legend, but someone in my class knew someone who set something on fire.
Oh, God.
By doing this.
Oh,
and
Lord.
So that's how I knew about it. I didn't know it was a dance movie.
It's funny you kind of forget that part. The whole premise. So the premise of this movie is Janie, who is played by Sarah Jessica Parker. She is an army brat, so they moved all the time. So she, at the very beginning, she's introducing herself to a class of an all-girls Catholic high school. So she's and they're kind of all like laughing at her or whatever. She's trying to think of fun things to say, but she's like, oh, from the army or whatever. And right away, so Helen Hunt's character's name is Lynn. And right away, she's just like looking at her like, oh, I'm going to befriend this girl. And so yeah, from like day one, they get on the bus and I'll always this is one of my favorite like memories of this is Lynn's like Velcro outfit. And I always remembered that because I was like, oh my God. So she's like, oh, cover me on the bus. And so Janie's like opens her jacket so no one can see. And Lynn turns her schoolgirl skirt around and it's like a leather skirt. And she's like, then removes her sleeves.
I love it.
And I just remember how cool I always thought that was. And then right away, she's like, oh yeah, you're going to be like my new BFF. And they go to this place where Lynn's babysitting and they watch dance TV because that was Janie's big thing too when she talked about herself is that she's always done gymnastics and she loves to dance.
She does. And if I had seen this in 1985, I would have tried to be Lynn because I love her. Her clothes are awesome and she's cool and she's pretty.
And at one point, that's how Shannen Doherty's character's name is Maggie, I believe. And so she's kind of like, her brother is Jeff, who ends up being a big part of this. But she at one point was like, oh, look, there's Janie and that really cool girl when she's talking about Lynn. So you could tell like Lynn was the cool person. And same, I always wanted to be Lynn. I was like, oh my God, she's so cool.
I love Lynn. Dude, what's Dude Face's name? The boy?
Yes, so his name is Jeff on the show. So he is also apparently an amazing dancer. And his friend is trying to convince him. So they see the contest for dance TV in Chicago. By the way, I'm trying to figure out how. So they're on this bus, and Janie doesn't want to miss the beginning of dance TV. So dance TV, a show with dancers like that, comes on at 3:00 in the afternoon.
Right.
I was like, wait a minute, how is she going to miss this? They got to run to the babysitter's home and turn it on. And I was like, interesting.
Maybe they had after school activities. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why. I didn't think about that either.
Yeah. As soon as I was watching it, I was like, wait a second. So there's going to be a contest because they're in Chicago. So there's going to be some contest to be the new hot couple on dance TV. And it's going to be like, there's going to be tryouts. So Lynn's like, you could totally do it. You were like all about dance. And then Jeff and for the life of me, I can't think of that other guy's name who was like his nerdy friend that was in the show the whole time.
Oh, yeah. That Silverman dude.
Yeah. And
I don't know what his name is. But Shannen Doherty's character is like in love with him for some reason. Jonathan Silverman, but I don't remember. Yeah,
I feel like they never even said his name. A few times I was like, wait a minute, did they say his name?
I don't know.
And then of course there's the girl. There's always got to be a rich, snooty person who tries to ruin everything. And of course her name is Natalie. I was like, whatever.
Sister Natalie, but
yeah.
And she has no clear motivation.
No.
It's just to be mean. She's just a brat.
She wants to be mean. Like the first time we see her, she's sitting on her bed on the phone with her dad talking about, why he won't get her like literally everything she wants. My favorite part about this, though, is after she hangs up on him, she goes to her remote control electric closet. And again, a thing from my childhood, I remember. So her closet opens, she has a remote, and the rack just runs by.
Like in Clueless.
Well, yeah.
Because I was like, wait a minute, that's the closet from Clueless, but this is pre-Clueless.
This is not, they did it first.
Not the last time we see something that is later in another movie.
Okay. Yes. Many things
that were borrowed from.
Well, yeah, there's a lot about this that I forgot. I couldn't figure out, too. Well, obviously, nobody goes to the same school as the girls because they go to an all-girls school. So I couldn't really tell, was Jeff supposed to be the same age as these girls, as like Lynn and Janie? Because
he's never in school.
No, and he's on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
And he just happens to be the guy. They go to tryouts together, and then Janie and him get paired up together.
Right. And he lives with his dad and his sister, Shannen Doherty.
Because their mom, I'm assuming their mom maybe has passed away because
I think so.
The way they were talking, it seemed as if like she's like Shannen Doherty's character was like, oh, I didn't learn enough from mom before she was gone, something like that. So
she's gone.
And she's cooking, so it's definitely kind of one of those things.
Well, not that it matters, but Lee Montgomery, who played dude what's his name? First of all, he's really cute.
He is very cute.
And I would have been obsessed with him if I were 12 and not 50. But he's 23 or 24 years old in this movie. Like he the actor. But that, I mean, that doesn't matter for the character's age. But
Right.
we never do see him doing other stuff.
Yeah. I feel like he might be. And then, well, his dad mentioned to him at one point, like, what's going on with trade school?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if he's like fresh out of high school, or he could have been a senior at some other school.
Yeah.
And, you know, whatever. Because, you don't see him go to school. But
so both
Yeah.
of those main characters, their parents have their future in mind for them. And they're like, this is what I want you to do.
Yeah.
And it does not involve dance.
yeah.
Although Lee Montgomery's dad is all for him dancing.
Yeah. He's like, hey, you do what, makes you happy kind of thing. Jamie's
Even
dad,
if
on the other hand.
Punk Anderson fires me, you can
Exactly.
still dance.
I'm like, oh my God. When he shows up, I'm like, Punk Anderson is Natalie's dad.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
At first, I was like, I know this guy.
Okay.
He wasn't on. He just looks like he was on Dallas.
Nope. Right away, I was like, who is that? Who's that from Dallas? What was his name? And then So for those of you, of course, who have listened to us forever and have listened to all of our Dallas episodes, probably are also in love with Punk Anderson because he's awesome. What is his name in real life? It's like Morgan Woodward or something like that.
Something like that. It doesn't matter. He
And
was Jock Ewing's best
I
friend.
think he's still alive, to be honest. I feel like the last time we did Dallas,
way.
he's like 98 or something.
He was
I'm gonna look it up.
98 in this movie. Come on.
He looks like he was 98 in this movie.
He was a weathered man.
I gotta look it up. So he shows up, but first of all, his hair is like,
Oh my God.
the brightest, whitest,
It's like white
color
Lego
ever.
hair.
And yeah, so his name is J.P. Sands. So he's Natalie Sands' father. Oh, he only died in 2019. I knew.
How old was he?
He was born in 25. So he was, 4 years short of 100. So 96, yeah.
He was born in 1925, which I know we don't do math, but in 1985.
He's only 50.
No, he was
60.
not.
He's only 60,
Okay,
sorry.
60. I was like, that man was not
Can't
good.
do math
But
either.
even 60,
Yeah.
I thought he was in his 70s.
Yeah.
I was like, man, Natalie's dad is old.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, yeah, he is Janie's dad, of course, he was Army, so he's super strict. And even at home, he's very like tells her things. They talk in military time, and she's always kind of like, and then she kind of has an annoying little bratty brother named Zach, and he's kind of annoying, but he actually helps her out a lot.
She has to pay him.
Well, but one of my favorite scenes ever, first of all, okay, are they living in condos? Is that your understanding of where they're living?
See, I don't know, because I was like, wow, their house is really big, but also he's retired military high up dude, but also there are fire escapes.
Well, not only that, but when she comes up, there's this giant gated area, and you can see multiple. You're right. At first, you could think it's a big house, and then there's some random Doberman that's chained up.
Yeah. I thought it was theirs.
And she was like, oh crap! Like she always was surprised to see it. But then she goes in, and I thought, okay, do they live in either? At first, I thought it was like an apartment building, and I'm like, but maybe it's a condo. And then I'm like, well, they must own it because he chops a tree down towards the end. So I was like, okay, I'm so confused.
But also,
by
he
this.
says he needs to get a alarm system for this place. But see, that's where I was confused, because there is, like, she's climbing out of her window, and you can see a fire escape.
Yeah.
So maybe it was just the filming location.
Okay.
Because this movie is set in Chicago, but it's filmed in LA. Mm-hmm. So maybe they just found like a big building and they were like, this looks like it could be somebody's house.
Yeah.
They didn't do much to make us believe it was in Chicago, except for like some shots of the river in the beginning.
Well, and scenery of the Sears Tower
Yeah.
and that other one building that's iconic.
it was just
that I
like
can't think of,
establishing shots in the beginning.
Right. And he's like, hey, you can't just be roaming around Chicago.
Right.
But it looks kind of like they are suburby, so what you're like, okay.
Yeah, but there are some LA landmarks in this movie.
Yeah.
Like they didn't try very hard.
I mean, it was very crazy. I was like, okay.
So I think it was supposed to be their house.
One of the times it was the day that she skipped choir practice to go either to the tryout or whatever. Maybe that was when she had to rehearse. Mm-hmm. But they get back and, Sister Natalie. So Natalie overheard the conversation about her skipping choir practice. So she calls the dad and was like, this is Sister Natalie and she does not hear her. And so as they're coming home, Lynn is with her and she's walking home. Zach and her have a hidden walkie-talkie in a in a bush. That was one of my favorite things growing up. And he's like, whatever, to Janie, make sure it's urgent or whatever. So she picks up and she's like, what? And he's like, they called and said they knew you weren't inquiring. So Lynn
like, oh my God, Natalie,
her.
they know.
Yeah.
They know.
Lynn drags her in and pretends like she passed out of gymnastics. And so that's why, she made a whole story out of it. They were like, what? So he is kind of, her like little dude too. Like but yeah, she tries to pay him towards the end for some information.
Well, at one point he's like, okay, you got to leave $250 outside my door or whatever. Because he gives her information.
Yeah. And doesn't tell the parents probably information. So that was like a good one. But yeah, so now it's funny too in the beginning, like she gets paired up with Jeff and he's upset about it because he's like, oh, it's just with this schoolgirl kind of thing going on. And Lynn's like, oh no, he's super cute. But Janie was like, I wouldn't want to kiss him. She at first she was kind of like if it was like something about like who would be the last person you'd want to kiss. It was like she was so like put off by him for no real reason. And then after that, she acted like she was all enamored with him. And then they'd go, because at first though, he's all mad. They're rehearsing and she wants to do gymnastic-y things. And he's like, I'm not doing that. And why do you think you're in control? And then like every movie where dance partners get put together, they kind of become must kind of fall in love.
Of course they do.
So that's how it works. And prior to this, while they're doing these tryouts, of course, Natalie also tried out and she made it to the final contest. But she has her debutante party. And that was the first time I think we saw Punk Anderson.
Yes.
So she has this whole thing, but she's like, she handed out specific invites. Well, she invites Jeff because she's all like, she's sitting on his motorcycle outside rehearsal and she's like, And Silverman is at the mall.
We don't know
Jeff. Yeah, we don't know his name. Well, I guess we should probably look it up. He is at the mall getting a suit tailored. And Maggie, Shannen Doherty's character, she's like, she comes up, she sees him and she's kind of making fun of him. And then that's when she's like, oh, there's Janie and that really cool girl.
Yes.
Well, they invite him in and then he shows the invitation and she's like, oh, hold on. And then they take Maggie with them and they go make 150 copies of this thing and invite the craziest people ever to this.
I feel like this is something we would do.
That guy's name is Drew. I'm pretty sure I never heard that once in the entire movie.
I think at some point because...
Okay. His name is Drew.
Okay. It doesn't It's Jonathan Silverman.
It's Jonathan Silverman. Whatever. So they invite all these people and they're going around on the streets. And I'll never forget this. They hand an invite to this person who just kind of, they're trying to make people look weird. There's this whole group of women who are bodybuilders and they pick up a car because the girls dropped the invites. And then
because somebody smacked them out of
that's right. That's right. Somebody smacked them and these ladies who are bodybuilders pick up the car. And then later they come to this party and they pick up this couple and turn them backwards for no reason.
Also, there was absolutely no reason to enter through the window.
No.
That's how the entire crowd entered.
That's the part that was weird. And then they're handing them out. I'll just never forget. Did you see the part where they're handing out the invitations? And there was this person, and I don't know, guy, girl, whatever, but gets it and was like, ah! And I remember that specifically from watching it forever ago. But yeah, they crashed this debutante party, but literally crash it.
Yeah.
They had invites because Punk Anderson was to security, nobody gets in without one of these. Mm-hmm. And yet they chose to crash through the windows to come in as opposed to just walking in and causing.
They were punk.
Yeah.
These were the punkers.
They were punks. And then the three girls are just outside watching this whole thing unfold and laughing hysterically about it. So, we forgot the part because when they were doing tryouts, Natalie paid someone to get Lynn out of the contest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because her partner that she got partnered with pushed her down, basically dropped her and kind of pushed her down during it. So they got kicked out. And then later they see Natalie paying that guy money. And they were like, oh, she's going to pay.
But why? She doesn't even know them.
Makes no sense. Just because she wants to win and she wants to be the best. Which is also weird. Because it's that thing, you're like, those people don't have any friends. Why do you do that?
Yeah, she's a weird villain. She doesn't make any sense.
No.
And they do the lift. That's another referential thing in this movie is they do the dirty dancing lift.
I totally forgot that till they were rehearsing, and then I saw them do it, and I was like, wait a second.
Look at how easy it is.
And in the dance studios, I mean, the whole thing was very Dirty Dancing vibe.
Yes.
I was like, this is like at the exact same time as Dirty Dancing, too.
Yeah, Dirty Dancing came out 2 years later, and obviously was a bigger hit. I mean...
Yeah. Well, they go to a club to dance, which is also funny, and it's called, like... I forgot what it was called. I feel like it was like
a diner.
Well, no, it was like called like, I swear it was like the basketball. It was like the court or something. And it was like some club. And they go to practice their dance moves. And this place is really cool. And Janie has to sneak out the window and somehow figures out how to like fix the security system so that she can get out.
That her dad just installed because of Chicago.
But they go to this club. And this was the funniest thing that I completely forgot about, but remembered this forever. And I didn't even remember it was part of this movie. So, you know, Jonathan Silverman's there.
I know what you're talking about.
And he walks up to this woman and was like, hey, have you ever played Tune in Tokyo? And oh my God, when we were children, like everybody would talk about that.
Yes.
And because I knew it from the movie, but I was like, I completely forgot it was this movie.
Okay. I knew it from boys in middle school.
Yeah.
Because we were in middle school when this came out.
And I mean, just hilarious. For those of you who haven't seen this and don't know what that is, you basically tell the woman to, what do? You put your hands on the back of your head.
Yeah.
And you like pretend like you're a satellite.
I don't know. She's like a periscope or a satellite or a radio or
and
something.
You're like, and then the guy gets in front of you and uses your knobs as knobs.
As knobs.
And says tune in Tokyo. And then you get slapped.
Pretty much. I like your... I like your description of it.
Yes.
So subtle.
That was definitely less than
but
just how
boys
crass
in school.
it is. Yeah.
Boys in school did this.
Yeah.
And I only knew it from school. I'd never seen the movie. But when I saw that, I was... As soon as he said that, I was like, oh, I know what's happening.
Mm-hmm. You already knew.
Girl, you need to walk away from him.
I completely forgot about it. But the funniest part is they leave this club. Well, first of all, some big creepy guy tries to dance with Janie, and then Jeff punches him out. They go to get on his motorcycle, and she's like, oh my God. And I don't know if you caught this part, because I don't remember this before, but I caught it as I was watching this. But she's like, I don't know, is it safe? And Jonathan Silverman says, oh, it's the safest thing you'll ever have between your legs.
Yeah.
And she goes, what? And they're like, never mind.
Never
and
mind.
then they just take off on the motorcycle. I was like,
why does Jonathan Silverman know all this
I
stuff?
know. That's what I was like. He's kind of nerdy.
doing?
I'm like, wait a minute.
He must not be in high school. I don't know.
But that's when Jeff kisses her when he drops her off. Mm-hmm. And she's like freaking out. And she's like, oh my God, I never would have thought I would be like dancing and whatever and have a boyfriend. And he goes, oh, you have a boyfriend? And then she's like,
Girl, have some chill.
I know. I was like, oh my. And then he's like, well, you better tell him you're going to be hanging out with me. So I couldn't tell if like he really knew she meant him and or it was kind of embarrassing. I was like,
I know.
That was weird.
Honey, you have no chill.
It's not your boyfriend just because he kissed you. So yes.
Right. I mean, what was her plan? That is my question. Like, she is trying to get onto this show where she's going to be a regular on the show, but she's not allowed to be on the show. Right. She's not even allowed to audition for the show or practice for the show. Yeah. So what was her plan?
But she still wants to do it. So yeah, the whole time she's just like, I'm just going to keep sneaking out and this is going to work. And and it's at that point, I think, where Punk Anderson, aka JP Sands, meets up with Jeff randomly and is like, oh, something about, I own a lot of factories, especially a factory where your dad works. And he's like, oh, you're threatening me? And because he's like, well, my little girl wants to win and I'll do anything to make sure that happens, basically. So then Jeff treats Janie all like crap and is like trying to be mean to her. And he's like, well, I don't even want to dance anymore. So he basically like just quits on her without telling her the reason why.
He's a big dumb Manny.
And I did think it was kind of funny as he's in there and he's like going to walk away. And she's like, get out of here. You make me sick. And he's already walking out. I was like, that's weird.
He's like, yeah, I'm going. Bye.
Like, yeah, I already was. He's like, I tried to return the compliment. But that's like when Dad cuts down the tree and making sure she can't get out.
But why didn't Punk just pay this TV station to...
That's kind of
like, why didn't he threaten them?
Right.
Why is he threatening... Like...
Yeah.
Because it could have been somebody else. Like, if he threw the contest, then somebody else would be, like, competing against her. I don't understand.
Yeah. And it's like there were other people in the contest,
Right.
like the mirror image girls.
Oh, yeah.
That they were interesting.
And the
But yeah.
professional dancers from Florida.
Yeah. Who met each other. Yeah, exactly. Those people were all good. And I was like, oh, dear God, how's all this working? But then she finds out. So then he changes his tune because he talks to his dad. And he's like, you let me take care of Mr. Sands. And you just take care of dancing.
I don't care what that oil guy says.
Yeah. So then they sneak out again by Lynn hanging from the roof with a rope. Which
great.
is one of my favorites. And her hair is awesome because it's like literally piled up on top of her head. And then that's when she fire torches the dog down on the ground when they get down there.
This was the only scene I'd ever seen in this entire movie before. What day is it? Before yesterday? And yeah, that was pretty cool. Because she's cool.
Exactly. So they get on a bus and they're trying to get ready and then they're stuck in traffic. So then they get out and walk on top of cars to get to the sidewalk, which also made no sense.
They could have just walked on the street.
Mm-hmm. Because I thought they were doing that all the way down, like there was no other where to go. And then they get to the sidewalk. I was like, the sidewalk was there the whole time. You could have just walked between the cars.
It's completely unnecessary.
But their parents end up watching the show because the dad goes to turn on the TV and he's like, I wonder where they play the reruns of MASH. And then the wife was like, Janie's mom was like, oh, wait, let's watch this. And then, of course, Zach, as good as he's been, he was like, oh, look, Janie's on TV.
Yeah, why'd he call her out?
I know. He should have been like, oh, wait a minute.
Paid him.
So dad decides he's going to haul butt down there. And he ends up showing up, but then is sitting there like, oh, look, my girl's so good at this. Like, he totally like
just like in Dirty Dancing.
Exactly.
You look great out there.
You look great out there. I bet you get this for me. And then we forget about the girl named Ricky, who was part of the dance TV like ensemble, who Lynn loves. She just rides in on like a chariot carried by guys, and she like makes the announcements.
Yes.
So she's just like a really pretty lady who just like sits there and is all cool. So
that's her whole thing.
That's her whole thing. And she's famous. So towards the end, she walks out because she's mad about something and she gets in trouble, or she gets into it with like the manager guy. And then, so at the very end, it was like Lynn gets to be Ricky and she rides in on like a horse carriage. But
Lynn needed to win something.
Yeah, she needed to be more part of it because they do the tryouts and they're doing all the finals. And everything went great. But then, of course, Natalie and her partner and Janie and Jeff end up tying. So then there's a dance off again.
Love it.
And I love how the very end, they're like, let's do it. And they already knew what they were going to do. And they both do like, he had practiced so hard to do like whatever those are called, handsprings and cartwheels and all of these things. And then because the lift didn't get them anywhere. He carried her across the stage that way. And that still, because everybody else was like throwing each other around and carrying the girls too. So I was like, okay. So it was the handsprings and things like that put them over the top. And they ended up winning the contest.
And then Natalie's like, Daddy, I can't believe this happened. And he's all, shut up. Where did his change of heart come from? When did there's no explanation for why he suddenly was just like, shut up, Natalie.
Yeah, at the very end, he tells her off.
Okay.
It's like, that doesn't even make any sense.
Just because you saw Sarah Jessica Parker dance and that changed your whole attitude toward your daughter.
Exactly.
It was like 18.
Or maybe, you know what? Maybe it's because Jeff stood up to him. Maybe he was like, these kids have character.
Do you think he admires that?
He's like, I threatened that kid and he just went after it anyway. No, I don't know.
Now I'm going to have to fire his dad.
Exactly. Yeah, later it's like, and then his dad's at a bar watching it on TV and they were like all cheering him on and then they pour a beer on his head
which was
when
rude.
They win.
That's one of my favorite tropes is the, guys in the bar watching it on TV. That's the best
like
thing.
They're watching dance TV and not sports.
Yeah. They're like, hey, Jerry, turn on the dance TV. My kid's on. He's a dancer. He wears.
Especially in a city like Chicago where you're probably like, if you tell them to turn the TV, they're probably like, no, we're going to watch what we want. So, yeah. So how'd you like it?
Like I said, I would have been obsessed with this movie if I had seen it in 1985 or at any time in my teenage years. I would have been obsessed with it. I would have been obsessed with Helen Hunt. I mean, I later, was obsessed with Helen Hunt. Like all of my 20s were my Helen Hunt in Twister clothing phase.
Yes.
But yeah, I liked it. It was good. I mean, it was cheesy.
It was cheesy. And of course, when you watch it when you're young and you love this kind of thing, because of course, when we were like young, this would have been like the best thing ever. And then I watch it decades later and you're like, yeah, it is really cheesy. But of course, now I'm 48. And so that makes a difference because it's different.
It wasn't terrible.
No.
I watched it with my spouse and he was like, that was a really dumb movie. I'm like, yeah, it was, but it could have been a lot worse. Like I said, there wasn't a lot of crazy shenanigans. They were like mild shenanigans. I feel like if they had tried harder for the shenanigans, maybe it would have gotten too cheesy. And there were a lot of plot holes, but it was what it was.
Yeah.
I don't know why the title Girls Just Want to Have Fun was necessary, because they just wanted to dance.
Yeah, it was really all about the dance. So you're right. I actually, in my head, as I'm remembering this, I was like, oh, they do way more things together just to go out and have a good time together, like her and Lynn.
Right.
So you're right. This was more like girl just wants to be a dancer.
Right?
Like not so much girls just want to have fun. So you're right. And then they play the song at the end, like girls just want to have fun. So it's all, I don't know. It's very crazy. Oh, we skipped over the part when they win that Jonathan Silverman kisses Shannen Doherty.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, because
Who is 12?
yes. And by the way, earlier when they were at the tryouts for the very first time, she was like walking and they saw her from behind.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey. And she turns around and he was like, oh my God, it's your sister. And she's like, oh, he thought I was good looking.
Yes.
So, but yeah.
She's so enamored.
They're very, outside characters, but had a few little moments there. So it was cute.
Do you want to know the lore about the song? Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Cyndi Lauper does not appear in the movie. Well,
correct.
actually, she does. She is an extra in the diner scene. She's uncredited. She's just there. But she did not want to be involved in the movie.
Okay.
They approached her to use her song. She said no. She read the script. She didn't like it. So she didn't want her song in the movie, and she didn't want to be in the movie. So they were like, that's okay, because you don't own the song. The song was written in 1979 by Robert Hazard, he played rock music in Philadelphia clubs.
Okay.
And Girls Just Want to Have Fun was on like local radio. And he had a friend who was a music producer who offered it to Cyndi Lauper. She added a few verses and lyrics, and she put it on her debut album, She's So Unusual, which was 1983, I think. Then New World Pictures bought it from Robert Hazard, and they had somebody else sing it. Actually, I think there were like three or four different artists who sing it in the movie. It's not like all one person.
Yeah, you can definitely tell the difference.
Yeah, so it is a completely different song, and it didn't belong to Cyndi.
Interesting.
But also, two other people who appear as uncredited extras in this movie are Robert Downey Jr. He is one of the extras who crashes the coming out party.
Okay.
And he later dated Sarah Jessica Parker in like 1990. And also Gina Gershon is a dancer in one of the scenes. Did I go back and look for them after I found out this information? No, I did not. So
Interesting.
I just know that secondhand. But anyway,
Yeah.
that's the lore.
Interesting.
That's why there's no Cyndi Lauper. That's why it's not her song.
Yeah, because you know what? In my brain, as you're talking about this, I don't know why I had it in my head that she came out at the end with Lynn coming on the little horse.
Maybe she did. I don't know.
But then it was almost like that's who I was picturing. I mean, I knew Lynn was coming out at the end. For some reason, I thought she was getting carried out, but she's like driving the reins.
She's on a chariot.
And now that you're talking about Cyndi Lauper, for some reason I thought that was her doing that. And then, yeah, so that's funny that I and maybe I just had that in my head because of, I feel like maybe that's in some video of Cyndi Lauper instead. See, I'm like,
that's just it. I feel like So there was a Girls Just Want to Have Fun video of Cyndi Lauper that was completely different.
I feel like there's a music video where they use parts of this movie, though.
I think there is.
Okay, then there's my confusion.
But I did not confirm this, and I'm not going to right now.
No.
Because I'm just...
later.
Yeah,
Somebody
I don't care.
put that in comments on this podcast. Tell us all the info that you have.
But I also think that I've seen scenes in a music video.
Yes.
But if Cyndi Lauper didn't want her song used, then how would that be?
Right.
Maybe this is a Mandela effect kind of a
could
thing
be.
that we're
It could
creating
be.
right now between us.
I think we are.
Oh my God. This is how these things happen.
I told my friend Melissa, who listens to us. Hi, Melissa.
Hi, Melissa.
And I was like, we have to watch Girls Just Want to Have Fun. She goes, oh my God, now I want to watch that. I was like, exactly.
I want to go back and have my 10. I would have been 10 in 85.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm going to go back and have my 10-year-old self watch it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, as a kid, we loved it. We watched it multiple times, and we were always like, let's watch that again. Because, and of course you did that with all the movies that you loved. It was like you'd rewatch stuff. Yes. And that was because, when you're young, you do. You see them, and they're like, that's so cool.
They're so cool.
We were Shannen Doherty.
Yes.
We're like the cool girls, We really were. It was
like, I want to hang out with the cool people, but
guys.
I'm Shannen Doherty.
Yeah.
And my parents were absolutely right. It would have influenced me. But there's nothing bad influence in here except for the, hairspraying the dog and the fire.
Yeah.
That's not good. But it's not.
And the sneaking out, but that's not horrible.
Nobody's having sex.
Well,
nobody's
exactly.
drinking at any point.
Nope.
Like, I was expecting a John Hughes type movie. Which
you're right.
I definitely wasn't allowed to watch.
You're right. And for some reason, again, this might be Mandela effect again, but I was thinking that at times that Lynn was smoking.
I saw no smoking.
No. And now that we're talking about it, I feel like that's why I thought she was just like so hardcore that she did like everything.
Mm-hmm.
So now
the worst thing she did was change her clothes, but she wasn't even in school, so
no.
I mean,
and nothing about her was even like it wasn't risque or anything like that. She was never. She was dressed like really cool.
Yeah, but it wasn't like.
I mean, the most risque thing was when we saw Sarah Jessica Parker laying around at home in a tank top and her underwear, and then her brother comes in to be like, "Jeff's gonna dance." I was and she was in the bathtub, and he walked in on her too, and she was like, "Oh, what are you doing, you pervert?" He's like, "There's a phone call for you."
Yeah.
But there's never a time. Yeah, there's nothing. There's like the only kissing is the time that they kiss when she calls him her boyfriend.
Yeah.
I think they kissed a couple other times, just like real quickly, like hugging each other while dancing. But there was no scenes like the lift, like in Dirty Dancing.
That's true.
This was just them in the studio, and you kind of actually saw it in a shadowy way the first time.
Yeah, they weren't wet.
No.
And I mean, Jonathan Silverman tells some dirty jokes, but if you are 10, you don't get it.
No, you
anyway.
wouldn't. I mean, that whole thing about the motorcycle, I didn't even catch that. He said it so fast. I was like, whoa, what did he just say?
And when
the tune in Tokyo. I mean, there's like those, but again, how.
Obviously, those
that's
things
like the simplest of simple things that you could do that could be considered to be like.
I don't think my parents would have been upset with me watching this movie.
I mean, I'm pretty sure when I was young, my parents let me watch Porky's. So let's just.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
no way.
Probably weren't supposed to, and Dad would cover our eyes, but
Porky's.
Yeah, I know. Believe me.
Look, I saw that as an adult, and I was like, I can't watch this. My mom would be
I haven't
so
seen
mad.
it in so many years, but you're right. I was like, oh yeah, we watched that when we were kids. Again. But I remember at one point watching it, and my dad covered my eyes. It was hilarious.
Oh my God, I watched. So again, I wasn't allowed to watch those movies. Like, I could watch movies that were on USA. Like, the first couple years that I watched The Breakfast Club, it was on USA. Yeah. So they cut out
then it was
all
like
the
cut
bad
versions,
parts.
Exactly.
But like, my husband made me watch 16 Candles as an adult, and I was appalled. It's like, this movie is so horrible.
I'm not gonna lie. I remember. I think I saw 16 Candles when I was young once. I don't like hardly remember any of it. I don't. So when you say that, I'm sure it's bad because I'm like I can't even remember.
There are parts like it's not nostalgic for me because I didn't see it.
Yeah.
There are parts that are just like.
Yeah.
So bad.
I mean, to be honest, now I'm wondering if I even actually saw it or if I just saw clips, and I think I saw it. Because there's a lot of movies I saw once and I don't
Sure.
remember much about them. And then if I do rewatch it, I'll be like, oh yeah, I kind of remember that. But that one, I'm like, did I even see something? I don't even know. So isn't that crazy?
As an adult, I saw it, and
Interesting.
it was interesting.
Yes.
Well,
Awesome.
I appreciate you bringing up this movie.
Yes. I'm so glad that it was something new that you hadn't seen. So I'm glad you got to watch it.
I feel like we've seen a lot of the same movies, so it's rare to
It is
suggest
very
one
rare.
that.
I know.
Although the last movie we did, you hadn't seen. We did
Can't remember. Besides, well,
That Thing You Do. We did.
oh yeah, That Thing You Do. That's right.
You hadn't seen.
I had not seen that. That's true.
So if anybody wants to suggest
Yes,
movie.
movies for us.
like, send us a message. That's cool.
as
Let's
well.
do some 80s and 90s trivia before we go.
Let's do it.
And then I don't remember how we do this. You get one and I get
We
one?
took one of each year and then we ask each other. And then
Okay.
And you always get the ones that we both would know the answers to, and somehow I get really bad ones.
Well, maybe that'll change.
Okay.
Okay, you can go first.
I'll ask you first. I'm going to go 90s for you.
Okay. Oh, wait, we forgot to explain.
Oh, gosh.
So a couple years ago,
Yes.
I bought these 80s and 90s trivia cards on Natalie's birthday,
Yes.
and we're still working through them. I think. I don't know. I haven't checked to see if we've gotten through the deck yet.
I was just going to say, we really should have marked our place to see, because I'll probably forget at some point. But who cares? We'll just
cares?
keep going. So, yeah. So, these are great, except some of them I have a feeling you might not know this one.
Oh, sweet.
But,
Okay.
just because it seems like it's for 90s past. Anyway, name the fictional town where Mighty Morphing Power Rangers is set. Oh, I guess I'm supposed to give you multiple choice.
Oh, okay.
The choices are Angel Grove, Beach Cove, or Shark Bay.
Shark Bay.
It's Angel Grove.
Oh, okay. Well,
know.
I never
in
watched
my life
any of
have
it
I watched
ever.
Mighty Morphing Power Rangers. Yeah. And I always thought it was Morphin.
Yeah, that's
weird?
how the kids say it.
Mighty
Morphin.
Morphin. But
I thought it was just morphin, like they were morphin.
Yeah.
But they're morphing.
It's morphing. So, yeah. Interesting.
Okay. Well, how about an 80s?
You're going to ask me 80s. Okay.
I'm going to ask you an 80s one.
Okay.
I don't know if you get this.
Okay.
What type of car was Michael Knight's kit? There are multiple choice.
Okay.
Dodge Challenger, Cadillac DeVille, Pontiac Trans Am.
I feel like it was the Trans Am.
It was a Trans Am.
Yay!
It
I got
was.
one of something that
It was.
I was like, I kind of can see it in my head, I thought. So I was like, maybe it's a Trans Am. Yay.
Yeah, it's a Trans Am.
Yay.
I wanted a Trans Am so
I
bad.
think everybody did.
Yes.
All right, now you get 80s.
Okay.
Okay, you might get this. In Baywatch, what was the name of the character played by David Hasselhoff? There is no multiple choice. I probably wouldn't have got this when I watched Baywatch. I probably wouldn't have got this.
I did not watch Baywatch. I possibly watched half a season of Baywatch, and then I was like, I'm not into this, and I stopped. I'm going to say Michael.
It was Mitch Buchanan.
See, now that you say it.
I know once I read it, if you would ask me that, I would have I
Absolutely
knew
not.
Mitch. I never would have got the last name, but
Absolutely not. Okay. But I was close. I said Michael.
you were. I know. I was like, hey, it's
Okay.
close.
So this is 90s.
Okay.
We have not watched this yet.
Oh, okay.
What type of food was defense attorney Matlock most fond of? Multiple choice.
Oh, okay, good.
Hot dogs, hamburgers, pancakes.
God, I was hoping mac and cheese was going to be in there for some reason because I thought that might be what it was. I feel like it's the most quirky if it's pancakes.
It's not.
Oh, man.
It's hot dogs.
Oh,
That must be a plot point.
I guess
Because why else
so.
would they ask it?
Well, it's kind of like Golden Girls and cheesecake, maybe.
Is
I don't
it?
know. I don't know. Is that kind of a thing?
Are we going to have to watch Matlock?
Oh, I don't know. I guess.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay. Well, that does it for our recap of what did we watch?
Girls just wanna have fun.
Girls. Okay. All right,
So,
well,
yay.
let's wrap it up. And thanks for coming. And
Thanks for listening. And look at us all on all of our socials.
oh yeah, go find us on the Facebook. We have a private group, and we have an Instagram.
Instagram and TikTok, right? You know,
The
you do
TikToks.
the TikToks.
I do the TikToks. All right.
TikToks. Yay. Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.